Welcome to Psychotrading. Look at this beautiful villa. Look at this beautiful villa. Look at this beautiful life. Wow. Let's get started. So, welcome to Psychotrading. Psychotrading is a compilation of videos that I'm gonna create. It's not a strategy video. My trading strategy. I will never come out with anything like that because I don't believe in strategies. I believe in psychology, mindset. That's the only thing that people are missing. Once I understood this, I was able to achieve financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I just have freedom, complete freedom. So, who am I? My name is Matias Victoria. I've been somebody that worked a corporate job, that was stuck, that didn't know what to do. I started working on my mindset. I started working on my spirituality. And then I started working on something called frequency. Everything is frequency. Once I understood all those topics is when everything clicked and my life completely changed. Now I'm able to live a fulfilled life. I'm able to trade every single day, live a life of adventure. And that's what I'm documenting now. So I want to document everything that I've learned these past couple of years, everything summarized in all these videos, so you can try these concepts for yourself and see if they work for you. So one of the biggest realizations that I have was not being aligned with your goals. We're not going to talk about trading yet. We're talking about being aligned. So think this is going to work with anything you are striving to achieve in life. If you're not aligned with your goals, they're never going to happen. They are never gonna happen. You have that clear, right? So understanding how to be aligned with your goals is how you're gonna get there. So the three biggest factors that are gonna take you from alignment are money, love, and food. Those three things are your biggest enemy. And once you conquer those three things is when the divine flow, when everything flows and it comes naturally. Do you ever feel like you're struggling and like struggling to get where you want to be, and then some people have it just easy? It's because have conquered maybe one or two or maybe all three of them, and so it gets easier and easier and easier to get to where you want to be. So those three are love, money, and food are the biggest addictions in the world. They have ruined and corrupted this whole world completely. And let's say those are the devil. If you can't control those three things, you are stuck in the matrix, in a sense, right? You're stuck. You can't move forward. Why are these the biggest factors in being aligned with your goals? Because those are the ones that bring the biggest emotion. So everything in life is about frequency and emotions. You're never gonna succeed if you feel bad about doing something. It's always gonna crumble down. Every time you feel negative thoughts, it's never gonna work out, right? So those three things, love, money, and food, bring out the biggest emotions. Being scared to lose money, being scared to take a risk or anything, being in love or lust or all these things that you think that you want, but they are bad for you. And food is energy. And what is everything? Everything is energy. Money is energy. Creation is energy. And without energy, you can't do anything. You're just stuck. So I'm gonna make a video of each topic and how we dive deeper and how we conquer that, so we can get to the alignment phase, the divine flow, everything works out in our favor, the luckiness that everybody is looking for, the damn. But I want to talk about this video a little bit about emotions. So emotions, I changed the scenery so you guys can see a little better. So let's dive deeper in emotions. So what are the biggest emotions in trading? We're traders. What are the biggest emotions? Greed and fear. Those are the ones that make traders fail. That's why 95% of the people fail, because they can't master emotions. Again, it goes back to alignment and emotions. Everything is tied together. Once you guys finish this, everything's gonna click for you, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, this was exactly what I was missing in my life. And once this clicked for me, I am abundance. Everything just flows. I am in that divine flow. You understand that? You know how long I've been chasing this? I've been chasing this my whole life. And it all clicked once and everything just started happening. And look where I'm at. Look the life that I'm living. And I'm just a testimony of these practices. Again, from God. God it is the one that made it happen. So greed and emotion. So I want you guys to write this down. You can control emotions when you control the process. You can't control the outcome. That's why people feel fear and greed and all these type of emotions. They come up. They can't change their emotion to a positive one because their emotion is connected to the outcome. It's not connected to the process. So once we start falling in love with the process, you can control the emotion because you have control over the process. You understand? You control how much you risk on a trade. You control what trade you take. You control if you follow your rules and your trading system. You get to do that. You decide, nobody else. And that's why you can control your emotions with the process. How can you control the process of trading? Well, I divide into three things. It's following and knowing the rules. Okay, this is my strategy, right? And I go step by step every single day. And I take them and I make sure I follow them. So that's a win. That's controlling the process. And then falling in love. This is what you do. You should love what you do. So falling in love, okay, I love the process I'm doing. I take every single day. These are my trading rules. How much you risk. Again, you should be risking 1 to 2%. You shouldn't be over leveraging. When you over leverage, what are you thinking about? You want to make the money back, probably. That's again, you're not being aligned to the goal. Again, I know the goal is to make money, but you're not being aligned when you over leverage because now greed is popping up. You're not controlling your emotions. You don't know. You can't control the outcome. That's what I want you to understand. But you can control the process. You can control the process, bro. So risking the same amount every single time, because if you risk the same amount, you have an edge in your risk management. Once you have an edge, you can become profitable, right? That's what matters, the edge. That's why, again, the trading strategy doesn't matter. I've tried a bunch of them. They all work. But I failed because I wasn't in love with the process. I wasn't aligned with my goals. And that's what made me fail. Once I understood this, everything started flowing. I already knew what I had to do. And then the third one is consistency. Again, you can do everything right and still fail. But again, you are still following the process. I had this. Let me give you an example. So in September, I had a 2 weeks losing streak. In my head, I was going crazy. Obviously, I'm human. I can feel emotion. I haven't mastered everything. So in September, I was minus 8% in my trading account. I felt like shit. I was like, bro, what is going on? Like, I'm following my system. And again, trading showed me again that it's just emotions. It's just emotions. In 2 trades, I made everything back plus more. In 2 trades, I made everything I lost in 2 weeks in 2 trades. And then I'm up in the account. I was able to get a withdraw. So it's waking up every single day and knowing what you have to do, and looking at the graph and writing your rules and how much you're gonna risk, and doing it over and over and over again. Maybe you fail, and that's okay because if you keep on doing it and you keep on doing it, you're gonna get that big win, and it's gonna cover every single loss you had. Same thing with trading. There's gonna be months you're gonna not gonna make money. You're not gonna get a withdrawal. So you're probably gonna go 2-3 months without a withdrawal. But then once you get that withdrawal, it covers the money from all those months. So once you understand the process, it's when everything changes.